Hi, good morning. Today I'm going to talk about the topic Introduction to Computer. This is presented by Channel Heka. If someone wants to work on a computer, so there are three fields available for them. The first one is the hardware, the second is the software, and third one is the networking field. I wanted to get details of hardware. So when you take especially the computer hardware, you could see in the picture there are different hardwares components that are available. The first one is the monitor. So monitor is the one which everybody knows that they can see the code, they can see some pictures, they can see any videos, or they can see even the text. So anything that has to be displayed through monitor. And hard drive is the place where data is stored. So hard drives are like permanent storage. When you store data in the hard drive, it is retained forever until you physically delete it. The data could be a raw data, or it could be your code. It could be some of the software installation that you have. So it could be anything, or a video that you can store, or audio files. So it could be any type of files that you store on your computer is stored in the hard drive. RAM is the memory. The computer saves information in a temporary storage for it to use in the program quickly. So RAM is the place where the data is stored and retrieved by the programs very fast. But when you switch off the computer and switch it on, the data is lost from RAM. And RAM stands for random access memory. CPU is the central processing unit, which is the heart of the computer. The computer performs all the operations. It executes the program, it executes the logic, it does the calculation, everything happens in CPU. Your CPU has to be very fast to perform and give you results in a fraction of seconds. And the next component is the motherboard. Motherboard is a placeholder for all these components. So CPU, RAM, or any other devices. The power supply is the one which supplies the power from your plug point. So computer operates on direct current, but whereas at your home, you have an alternative current. So in order to convert alternative to direct current, you have to use your laptop charger or a wire charging wire, which has an adapter which converts the alternative current to direct current. And you see system fan, which is to cool your computer. When you perform a lot of operations for a longer time on your computer heats up, and it could fry your motherboard or your CPU or any of the electronic components within your computer. So it's better to have a fan on your computer, and most of the computer comes with the fan, by the way. And that's why your computer is always kept in an air conditioned room, so that your computer stays cool while you work on it. So basically, these are the main parts of the computer hardware, and a hardware engineer has to understand this whole thing, and he has to understand how to fit all these components on the motherboard, and how to repair these components. Software is basically as I said before, that performs operations within hardware, and it instructs the hardware to work. So there are multiple types of softwares available. Here, if you can see, the bottom part shows the hardware. Hardware is the actual electronic component. So for you to perform any calculations or any logic, it's performed through hardware. The operating system is a software which runs on the hardware. So operating system is a low level, is a low level language which is bits and bytes. So basically bits and bytes talks to hardware and then gets the results in bits and bytes. I have explained about prepackaged software here in the diagram, which is basically an example, I would say, is an Excel, Word, or any software that is already written and available for the user to use. So user either uses an application software, he does the coding, or he can directly use the prepackaged software to talk to operating system, and operating system talks to hardware. So this is how the whole software lifecycle works through network. So it could be computers connected within your home through wire or through Wi-Fi, or it could be computers connected all over the world through internet. So there are basically two types of networking. One is an intranet, another one is an internet. Intranet deals with the computers network within the organization, whereas internet deals with the computers connected all over the world. So a network engineer is basically a person who performs this connection between the computer. It could be through, like as I said, through the hardware wiring, or it could be through Wi-Fi, or and also like they have to understand some of the softwares which networking uses, uh, through which it can like communicate between the computers. So there are certain protocols like TCP IP protocol, which is used broadly to communicate between one computer to another computer in the network. And if you think about internet, HTTP is one of the protocol that is used to communicate between the computers throughout the world. So there are several types of servers. I'll start with personal computer, which everybody probably already know. They use it even to see this video. A laptop is an example of another personal computer. So mainframe is an server that was used in like 70s, 80s, and it can store large amount of data either in disk called DASD or through tapes. But nowadays mainframes has come in smaller sizes, and the rates have been slashed. It was costing millions few years ago, but now the rates are slashed. And the main provider of mainframe is IBM. Mid-range is the second level of computer where it's not as powerful as mainframe, but it can kind of perform operations, very complex operations. It can store large amount of data, but it is not comparable with mainframe. Mid-ranges computers uses AS400 as an operating system. Distributed servers are basically your Unix and Windows servers. So these servers are used widely throughout the country nowadays for various organizations. This is the most familiar server compared to all other servers. So if when somebody wants to set up a host a web page or set up an application, they will be usually using distributed servers to do that. Some of the examples of distributed server, as I said, these servers, uh, the hardware comes through different companies like HP, Dell, and other companies, but the operating system as such could be Windows, Unix, Linux operating system. Cloud servers are becoming very famous nowadays. Cloud servers are basically virtual servers where the computing is done on the virtual machine and storage is done on the virtual machine. So, for example, Amazon Cloud is one of a very famous example of a cloud server. So, these are some of the other computer images that you can see. With this, we come to the end of the session. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave your feedback and comments and don't forget to subscribe to the channel Heka. Thank you.